I was hooked on 90s hip hop, hooked on New York hip hop. And I decided when I turned 15, I want to start trying to do this.
Mm, that's dope. So tell us a bit about the transition into that. Like, keep in mind that people watching this or look at it from the perspective that there's people who never grew up facing the technological limitations you did. There are definitely people right now that can make a beat, record, mix, master, and export a music video to the song all on their phone. So, like, for the
Yeah,
people out there, tell us a little bit about your like migration into the hip hop world and what that's like,
man,
especially being in New
I
York.
remember when I was taking a cassette player, a little boombox, putting a blank tape in it, hitting record, having the beat playing on another boombox in the background, and me and my cousin and my boy Mike just sitting there freestyling. That's how it all started off. I started off freestyling
Right.
on the corner too. We used to sit on the corner of the stoop and have a bunch of people over. Somebody make a beat on the door or something, and everybody just start freestyling.
So you're going from that world of like just being off the dome, recording your own little demos at home based on the gear that's available for it. Are you like tell us a bit more about just I guess the vibe of it. Are you just like kind of doing it for fun for a while? Are you like taking it seriously at that
I,
point?
I did it for fun, honestly, until I really moved to Florida and found out what a recording studio was. In New York, I
Mm.
didn't know what a recording studio was. I was using Acid Pro, and the quality wasn't up to par. I didn't have no booth, nothing, just an old school tower computer with Sony Acid Pro, and went in and did what we could do.
Right. No, that's still innovative. Like it's still important stuff. Like when I was listening to your music before, I was remarking on how in the pocket you were. That's what I had said to you in the chat. I'm like, but that makes a lot of sense, right? Like if you've spent this many years being involved in music from that point, it only makes sense that now you're able to kind of bring forth that level of a mastery on the technique side of things. So like you're basically busting through with the recording. This is all still in high school, right? Like you're still young while you're doing this.
I wasn't even in high school yet.
Not even in high
I
school.
was in eighth grade,
Bro,
about to
you're
go into
saying
high.
in eighth grade, you're worried about it not sounding good because of gear. Bro, in eighth grade, most of us don't even have fucking ambition, let alone like fucking gear worries. That's fucking dope, stills. So, what happens after that? When do you move to Florida?
I moved to Florida when I turned 21. I'm 35 now, so I would say I've been here maybe 13, 14 years now.
So, I guess before we jump to Florida, then, as you're going through like high school and stuff, what else are you up to in your life? Like, what
Uh,
happens else?
Honestly, when I was in high school, I was actually, I was hanging out with the wrong crowds, doing stupid crap, bro. Like straight up honesty. I
Mm,
always keep it real with everybody and tell them straight out, I had problems with addiction. I got myself clean and moved away.
fair enough. I'm not one to like pry into people's personal stuff like that. I'm just one to try to get people's stories for as much shit as it is. You never know really what parts people want to talk about. That's fair. So you dealt
Hey,
with.
I'll tell you right now, bro. Like if you listen to my music, you could tell I've come to the point where I want to let that stuff out and let people know they're not alone. That's what I really do this for. I want people to know they're not alone in this world, that have gone through stuff like that and have gone through trials and tribulations that I've gone through. And if one of my songs can touch one person or save somebody's life, I feel I did my job.
It's blessed. You definitely hear a lot of that what you described with explicit detail in a few of your tracks where you're describing battling addictions and whatnot. So it's not that like I wasn't surprised by it per se. I just you never know where in the story it comes up. So you're basically running through whatever you're able to freestyle. Let's say life is going in a flowy way that isn't as focused on your current priorities. You deal with the demons a little bit, and then you dip out to Florida, is what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
And then tell us a little bit about what it's like when you get to Florida.
When I got to Florida, I came here. I didn't know nobody, which is great because you get to start over fresh, bro. You get to reinvent yourself a little. All the people that know you from your past and know what you were, you can kind of put that behind you. and start fresh and be the person you know you can be. And that's what it was all about. As soon as I moved here, I found a guy named Raz Zion. He had a studio over here in Port St. Lucie. I went to him right away, talked to him. I started getting in the studio, dropping track after track on Pro Tools, all that. It was great. And he wound up retiring. And then, I wound up going to my other friend who started his own thing, went to Full Sail University, learned everything he has to do. I wound up dropping a mixtape there. And from that point on, I started to notice that, I want to do this on my own. I want to be able to do it on my own where I don't have to pay somebody to do my music. I want to be the one to put my artwork together. I want to be the one to put my music together. And that's where I went from there.
So hold up, during that era, tell us a little bit more about, like, are you performing? Are you just kind of like...
I've performed a couple of times over here at like little club spots and bars, nothing crazy. I've done the coast to coast mixtapes. I was actually on a coast to coast mixtape at a point.
That's dope, stills. So you're basically running through it. How are you getting beats back then?
Back then I was using SoundClick.
Mm.
So I literally go to SoundClick, go through a bunch of different producers, pick what beats I like, and just, get in the studio, record them, and drop them and see what can happen.
So where did you drop them to at that time?
At that time, it was more YouTube, MySpace, we'll say.
And so you're running that. You're putting out a bunch of stuff. Are you networking with other people still? Like, what's the scene like where you're at?
Well, maybe about, I would say, about 4 to 5 years ago, I was networking for a little while with some people from a different country. But before that, about 10 years ago, I was part of this thing in Seattle. It was a radio station in Seattle, Washington. And guy I introduced me to was Ron. His name was Ronald McThomas. Really good artist, more R&B flow. But he had this radio show, and I would go on it. I would do interviews. I would even do like little promotions for him, like, hey, this is Autamatik. Welcome to New Avenues Radio. This is my new track, new exclusive, and stuff like that. And they would play my tracks on rotation. I would do features with people from all over, from Seattle to California to where you're from, Canada. I had a guy out there. I don't know if he's even still doing it, but his name was Spyra.
Fair enough. So how are you linking up with these people? Like, how does somebody up in Florida like connecting with everybody back then? I guess MySpace.
Back then, it was all virtual, man. We did the virtual thing. It was all through the computer.
Right. So you're linking up over social media, linking up with people, and kind of just creating a bunch of songs out there. And so you're like almost in like that very early wave of like the folk who are leveraging the internet for success in this. You're like not like somebody that's new to this.
Yeah, exactly, man. It was a lot of I've been through a lot of different people. I've worked with a lot of different people, and some of it didn't work out well. So it's been kind of hard. So, but now that I'm here now with everything I'm doing now with VTB Records, I've never been more excited in my life. It's given me a drive back that I didn't think I had anymore.